right. Well, a few technical difficulties there, to say the least. We are finally here and on the Phil Chalmers channel for our special Serial Sundays 4-week event. And it's good to see everybody. Thank you for joining us. And I'm not going to lie, like the initial issue was a connection problem, and I then got very excited and slammed my hands down on the table, and all of the power went out in Edinburgh. Like, that's there's no street lights. That's just a car driving up the road. I tried phoning Mrs. Blaze, like there was no cell phone reception. But hey, do you know what? We're here now. Who cares? It's all about the serial killers and Phil and getting this content rolling. Thank you for joining us. And Phil, are you excited?
I am very excited.
Good.
Are we going to do this? Let's do this.
We're finally going to do this. We're finally going to do this. And if you've got any questions about serial killers, if you've got any questions for Phil, after we've done the meat and potatoes section, we will 100% be taking questions. Now, please, before we even begin, start smashing the like button. Please share this stream. For anyone who enjoys true crime, this is the place to be. We're just going to pretend that I don't have a spot there now. It's traveled from here to now here. I'm going to try and adjust the camera angle and some shaming. There we go. That's fine. So yeah, but I'm excited. I know Phil's excited, and we're talking about somebody that I've never heard of this evening. And I'll tell you something. I edited the first series for Phil's channel yesterday, which is all about John Wayne Gacy, and listening to Phil present all the information, I kind of forgot I was meant to be editing it. If I was being honest with you, I kind of got sucked into it. So I'm telling you now, other than Phil and I having to tweak some lighting, we're good. Oh man, you can see my breath. That's how cold it is. 50 people here. Let me see where we're at with this, with these 50 likes and 50 people. All right. Okay. Show offs. Oh, now look at, speaking of showing off, look at this. This is Daisy.
Daisy, my deaf boxer.
The deaf boxer. She
has her own show on our channel.
Yeah.
When is she debuting? Around like Saturday or something?
Yeah, I think it's going to be, it's Daisy and also
Delmas and Daisy show.
The Delmas and Daisy show. Now, it sounds like a cute, thing, but it's quite an interesting series. Tell us a little bit about who Delmas is, the co-host with this beautiful pup.
So you're going to see on this channel, by the way, for all my American friends and people that are on my pages, my fans, this is Ron Swanson from Scotland.
That's me.
Scottish. And he is overseeing my channel and producing and managing, and it's going to be epic. And we're looking forward to growing this thing and bring lots of cool content. So you're going to see me interviewing serial killers, school shooters, mass murderers, teen killers. That's part of the videos, the content you'll see. There's also going to be me doing series on different serial killers, like John Wayne Gacy series drops this week. And we have this one show called the Delmas and Daisy show. So a lot of people want to know about my deaf boxer. We adopted a deaf boxer, and she's learning hand signals, and it's really cool. So you'll see that I believe Saturday we'll drop the first episode. And the Delmas and Daisy. Delmas Colvin's a serial killer who's responsible for about 50 murders. And Delmas Colvin is housed in a high security prison in Ohio, in the U.S. And him and I, we've kind of grown pretty close. So he's going to share with us every couple weeks. It'll debut, I believe, on Friday or Saturday on, what prison is like. Yeah. What is the food like? What is his cell like? What is his mattress like? What kind of mail does he get? So you're going to get a good inside scoop of prison life in the United States. And you're also going to get a dose of how my deaf boxer is doing. She's 10 weeks old right now. So
she's awesome. She's awesome. And I keep telling Phil that he's the sort of person that once his channel grows, people are going to want to sort of see what goes on behind the scenes. And I think Daisy's a good segue into your life for sure. But I think that's interesting because obviously with the facility that Delmas is in, it's not like there's a possibility of anyone we know who does a petty crime that would end up in a facility like that. So hearing what that's like is going to be quite interesting, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Because my reaction was similar to a couple of people who were like, Delmas, Jesus. But yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting. I can't wait. And the Gacy content starts rolling out on Monday. You'll have Gacy Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday and Thursday. You'll have some highlights and some clips. Then, of course, on Friday, we have the first episode of The Darkest Net on Sean Atwood's channel. Saturday, probably doing Daisy and Elmas, Daisy and Elmas, Jesus, Delmas and Daisy, then, and Sunday we'll be back here, so it's exciting.
Let me tell what we're going to do the next few Sundays, Ron. So next Sunday, we're going to do, it's called The Killing Cousins. David Gore, and I think it's Fred Waterfield, The Killing Cousins from Florida. Very scary predators driving in a panel van, abducting young ladies. So that's next Sunday. The following Sunday, I'm trying to do serial killers that people don't know about. Everybody knows about Dahmer, Gacy, Bundy, Ramirez. The following Sunday, we're going to do Charles Albright, the eyeball killer. And the last Sunday of the month, we're going to do the Cleveland Strangler, Anthony Sowell. So I'm going to try to bring you guys some different odd serial killers that a lot of people don't maybe know or talk about. Yeah,
that's great. I think that's what we've always sort of wanted to do, but it's actually quite difficult to just sort of jump on Google and be like, oh, unknown serial killers, because you'll get there's for some reason there just seems to be no shortage of serial killers all over Brazil. There's an unlimited amount of top 10 serial killers you've never heard of in Brazil, and I don't know what they put in the water down in Brazil, but there is some spicy characters down there. Like when you there was actually a serial killer who would kill child abusers, and he went in as a serial killer and then serial killed within the Brazilian prisons, you know, and it's wild. It's wild. But in saying that, slightly different prison system in Brazil as well.
And I think some of the Brazil might have some of the deadliest serial killers in the world. Like I think some of them killed 300 people. So
yeah, well, Mexico,
I think Brazil, some of these countries.
That's geographical and economical, you know, factors, though, if you know what I mean. Right. Because, you know, with a lot of the deep divings in the deep web and things like this, you see a lot of the gore sites, murder, people that are in, you know, people that have been hacked up. And there's a lot of women in Brazil just in bits in the woods. It's
wow.
It's
the name Pedro Lopez comes to mind. I don't even know. I'm not even on Google, but I think that name comes to mind. Yeah. Pedro Lopez or somebody like that is one of the most deadly serial killers. So tonight, well, Ron, kind of talk about real quick how we met and what we're up to, and I'm going to dive into the shoe. Wait, Ron, I want to. This is going to be our prop tonight.
Ah, yes.
Now I showed you this earlier, and you said you own a pair of these.
Yeah, yeah, of course I do. Only for special occasions like this evening, of course.
These are mine. I wear these on Sunday nights sometimes.
This is the Super Bowl shoes.
Slayer,
it's the Super Bowl.
Fetish Slayer would love this. Okay, yes. He would love this. And if all you guys, I mean, you guys watch the show Mindhunter on Netflix, you would have seen Jerry Brudos, the shoe fetish. We're going to talk about him tonight, but Ron, talk about just how we met in our collab and
well, you do courses online. You do these pretty incredible sounding courses where people can join in an online meeting and talk to serial killers, and it's wild. Anyway, to be honest with you, when my mate Shane told me about it, I was like, nah, there's no way. It'll be pre-recorded. It'll be like, here's an interview I did. You'll have worded it cleverly on the website. I was having none of it. And then he came running back like, oh my God. He's like, I literally came, as soon as we finished this course, I had to sit down and just process what had happened, because I think he'd spoke to Delmas, and Delmas was like, you know, you know, when you kill someone, it makes sense to put them in the position that you plan on carrying them out in, so that it's easier, because then they rigor mortis into that position. And I think that blew one part of Shane's brain. And then he's something along the lines of like, I don't care about killing, I would just grab you and kill you anyway, or something like that, which blew the other side of his brain. And he came back to the community and he was just like, you need to meet Phil. Like, this has to happen. And it just, here we are. So Shane introduced us and brought us together, and it's been great. Like, it's been quite funny because I know there's been days where I've been like, right, all this is going to be ready for example, today I was like, everything's going to be ready for Sunday. This was on Friday. It's like, don't worry, everything's going to be fine. I'll speak to you tomorrow. Didn't speak to him tomorrow. And I'm like, oh God, I just have this vision of him just being like, oh God, this crazy fucking Scottish guy. Do I even know this guy? But, luckily, no, if you don't hear from me, that's good. And if I've set a deadline, we're good.
Somebody asked me I'm looking at the chat. Y'all can just message me in the chat. Somebody asked me a really interesting question that I've never been asked before. This is an interesting question, Ron.
Okay.
Somebody said it reminds me of the shoes they wore when they were a dancer. Okay. Somebody said Phil Chambers, which that's close. Yeah. Have you ever collected a mannequin from a crime scene?
Okay. A mannequin. Have you ever collected a mannequin from a crime scene?
That's like saying, have you ever fished on a Saturday? It's a crazy question. No,
of course it's a crazy question. Oh yeah, Phil, welcome to the internet.
Or from a crime scene.
Yeah, welcome to the internet. First of all,
I want to say, where are you coming from on that, Nave Folk? What the heck is that about? You gotta explain that to me.
I don't know. That is very random. Very random. I don't think anything can be taken from a crime scene. Maybe he thinks these are actual severed heads behind you. Maybe they are. Maybe you take out the serial killers and then turn them into your sculptures behind you there. Could be.
For all you new people to the channel, especially if we all know we have a lot of people in the UK tonight and all over the world. I am here sitting in the United States of America, and I've been doing this for 35 years. I interview hundreds and hundreds of killers, serial killers, school shooters, mass murderers, and teen killers. I've written books and, done TV and all that. So I have never done a YouTube channel, and I've been doing TV, and my agents are always like, oh no, don't post stuff on YouTube because, we want to save stuff for television and whatever. So I decided, I had some of from my fan club. They're like, you need to do a YouTube channel. And then I met Shane and Ron, and here we are. I feel it's time. So it's time for me to share this world that I live in with the world. So
I agree.
It starts today.
I agree.
This is it.
And
today.
To be honest with you, it's been a big step for you because, let's not forget, you're not like some dude who's just decided to make content about serial killers. You've been doing this 35 years. You have got stuff on the telly, as we call it in the UK. You've got some big, heavy logos that come behind you. And, I'm really glad that you took the proverbial prodding and decided to do this, because the one thing I was saying to him was like, listen, don't sign anything that says you're giving over rights to your social media. It says whatever deals anyone throws at you, you tell them I'm having full rights to my social media. I was like, because then we're good, right? But the minute, because you guys know, like if somebody was to come to Phil with a TV show, and then they had rights to his YouTube and it became massive, they would just focus on filling up his YouTube with content because that's just going to churn out money for them. And there is some fairly crafty bastards out there who sort of look for people that aren't used to that side of new media. And so that's why
I'm going to zip through this chat and answer some quick questions. Yeah, somebody said, you've been watching this Netflix show, You. I absolutely love the Netflix show, You. Love it. It's a stalker type show, and I can't wait for the next season. But The Sinner just dropped yesterday, so my wife and I'll be watching The Sinner. Do some killers have some normal individuals they feel like they can be open with about their crimes? Yes, a lot of the killers open up to me. They don't trust too many people. Somebody's creeped out by the clown behind me. That's John Wayne Gacy, the killer clown. What happens to the evidence once a case is solved? Usually the police department keeps it for years, sometimes forever. I do try to get my hands on some of that, but it's tough. Your fan base is going to blow up. Thank you. Let's see what else we got, and then we'll dive in here.
Yeah, no, I just want to say the clown behind you there, John Wayne Gacy. Well, you're going to learn all about John Wayne Gacy, and see when Phil starts talking about profiles, and it's just mad. Like the detail and how little effort it looks like when I'm editing it back, it's just wicked. It's wicked. So you're literally a walking serial killer Wikipedia. And we're really excited. But you just bash on with some more questions, brother. I'm just rolling a ciggy. So crack on.
Somebody said, what was like the first time I saw a body? I am not an active investigator. I'm not a detective. I train investigators. So what I do is what you get when you get to know me, I'm all about crime prevention. Like, we're not here glorifying murder. We're here learning about these guys, these killers, these men and women, and what can we learn to stop future killers and to help train law enforcement to catch them before they kill more women, children, whatever. So that's my role. I'm the one that when the detectives and the investigators go to a conference, I'm the speaker. That's my role in this. And I do show hundreds of crime scenes. And if anybody's in the US, you can come see my live training. I have a tour starting this fall, and it's like going to Mindhunter. You ever watch the show Mindhunter? They interview serial killers and they have classes. That's what I do. So, I have seen To Catch a Killer. It's great. Yeah, I have seen the Gacy one. I do talk to a lot of family members of the victims and the serial killers. And they're launching questions here. This is great.
Well, listen. I'll tell you what. See if you want more questions, right? I'm wanting like 80 likes minimum on the stream because Phil, 80 likes. Let's go. Like it up, share it up, like it up. And then we'll get stuck in because it's free. It's free. Okay, 35 years of knowledge inside that head. And all you've got to do is click the like button and maybe share. And then maybe at the end of the stream, Ron forces you to like go to the channel trailer and like that and bang a comment on it. It's fine. It's free. It's free.
So tonight we're going to talk about a serial killer that's not very well known. And one of the most disturbed individuals I've ever studied. And he loves shoes, just like this. This would turn him on. If you took this to his visitation meeting with him, he would be really excited about it. He would probably ask, can I keep that? And his name is Jerome Brudos, but he goes by Jerry Brudos. So Jerry Brudos was known as the shoe fetish slayer. He was also known as the lust killer, but I prefer the fetish slayer because we could call a lot of people the lust killer. Erdian is a very interesting individual that loves shoes and loved women's feet. Okay. This guy was born back in the day. He was born in 1939. So this is not a recent serial killer. And when I'm walking through this story, I like to ask people, when would you be concerned? Like, at what point would you say to yourself, if that was your son or your neighbor boy, would you say, holy shit, I think we have a serial killer here in the making, right? I want to ask you all, and I want you to put in the chat, when are you concerned? And so when you get to that point, I want you to put in the chat, I'm concerned, okay? He's 5 years old. He's walking as a little boy, and he discovers in a dump, a junkyard, whatever y'all call it where you live, a trash bin, trash pile, he finds a pair of high heel shoes. He brings them home at 5 years old and he wears them around the house. Okay. You've seen kids do that. You're having a holiday party and they walk around in someone else's shoes. Maybe I'm not worried yet. And his mom doesn't like it and she scolds him and she burns these shoes. Okay. Now keep in mind his entire upbringing, his mom told him, I really wanted a daughter. I really didn't want you. I didn't want a son. I wanted a daughter. Okay. So always remember that's in the back of his head. He's not wanted. She wants a daughter, not a son. So 5 years old, his mom burns his shoes. He starts to get involved as a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old boy. He starts to steal shoes and women's underwear. That's his thing. Okay. He has a fetish for shoes, high heel shoes, especially. And he loves stealing women's underwear. So let's start with that in the chat. You have somebody, a little boy who's stealing women's underwear and high heel shoes. Are we concerned yet? Are we calling somebody? Are we doing anything yet?
Well, I mean, listen, all I'm saying is he's a 5-year-old kid. He's found some shoes. He stole some pants. If it happened once, I'd probably just be like, that's a bit weird.
But he didn't steal pants. He stole underpants.
Yeah, but in the UK, and yeah, where the language was invented, right? The English language in the UK, right? We call it trousers, underpants and trousers. Okay, pants are your underpants. Gee, this is from the country where the people need to be told the sidewalk is at the side. Do you know what I mean? Sidewalk. Don't walk in the middle. If they didn't call it sidewalk, it'd just be running about the roads crazy. All right, let's not go down that road. But yeah, if it happened once, I'd be like, oh no, don't take dirty shoes out of the bin.
Right.
No.
Okay, right. Okay, let's continue.
Okay.
He's 6 or 7 years old. He's in elementary school. He tries to steal the teacher's extra pair of high heel shoes. He gets caught. He starts having lots of health issues, and he has really bad headaches, and they think it's because it affects his eyesight, and they don't know what's going on. So you got all this stuff going on in his early life, and his mother keeps reminding him that I should have had a daughter. He moves he was born in South Dakota. He moves to Oregon, which is where he committed his crimes. And he continues to try to steal his friend's sister's underwear and clothing and shoes. So that continues all through his life. He discovers pornography at 13. At 16, he's having dreams, sexual dreams, and his mom is harassing him about his sheets, and she makes him wash his sheets himself. So when he's 16 years old, he wears a mask, and he tells a young girl to come to his house, and he stole her underwear or something, and he wears a mask, and he actually makes her strip at knife point, takes pictures of her naked body, lets her go. She doesn't know who it is, and he doesn't get arrested or caught for that. So now at 17 years old, he is assaulting women, taking pictures of their nude body, almost like a rape act, a sexual assault. Are we concerned yet in the chat? Are we concerned?
Yeah. I mean, I would say alarm bells would be ringing, right?
They should be ringing.
Definitely. Alarm bells should be ringing at this point. Do you know what I mean? I would say yeah.
He continues on with his life, though, and he graduates from high school, very low GPA, 2.1. And he goes off to college and tech school for electronics. He joins the army. He gets kicked out because his bizarre obsessions with women. And so at the age of 21, he moves back to Oregon with his parents. His mother makes him sleep in the shed out back. All right, so that's kind of like, if you all know who Ed Kemper is, his mother's making him sleep in the storage shed out behind the house, which is really bad, by the way.
Of course.
He went and strangled a woman at that time, strangled her unconscious, stole her underwear, her shoes, and slept with the underwear and the shoes in his storage shed out behind his parents' house. He got his FCC license, and at the age of 21, he started working at a radio station, met his future wife. And you ready for this? He actually got married at the age of 22 to a woman named Darcy. And he had a daughter at the age of 23. So this is what we see about serial killers.
Stop. Sorry, not you, Phil. Sorry. Carry on.
So they commit these heinous crimes, or they're committing heinous crimes, but on the surface, they look super normal. Like Ron, we just did the John Wayne Gacy series.
Yeah.
John Wayne Gacy's a politician. Yeah. He's hosting parties. He's meeting the president's wife. He's dressing up as a clown. He loves, he's helping children.
Yeah.
And yet underneath the surface, it's horrific type of crimes. And that's what this guy's about to do.
Yeah. And there were so many boxes left unchecked on like the standard 1960s to 1980s, what makes a serial killer checklist. He was abused as a young child, but it really flourished later in life, with Gacy. It was crazy. And you'll find out from Monday.
This is what Brudos looks like. And if you all watch Mindhunter, this is the famous actor that played him in Mindhunter.
Nice.
It was one of the best portrayals in Mindhunter. Again, Jerry Brudos being arrested. This is what this cat looks like. He doesn't look like a monster. He looks pretty normal.
How many of them do? I mean, leaving out Ramirez, obviously. Right. Ramirez.
Yeah. He just looks pretty normal.
Yeah.
Now he's been in prison for a while. So to speed up the story.
Yeah, no, take your time.
Married, he's got a daughter. Things are going well on the surface. But he's this is a lot of people talk about this as a serial killer warning sign, because a lot of people want to know about warning signs. How can you tell someone's a serial killer? It's pretty tough. But one of the things we see is jumping job to job to job to job. They can't hold a job. Jerry can't hold a job. So for 5 years, he's moving all over the Oregon coast. And in 1967, at the age of 28, he has a son born. His wife will not let him attend the birth for some reason. I don't know why. So he goes back to his underwear thefts and shoe thefts. He starts stalking women. And he attacked a woman one time in Portland. She was sleeping, broke into her home. This is the age of 28, 1967. He choked her unconscious, raped her, and took her shoes.
Jesus.
So at the age of 28 is when he started killing. And this is in 1968. So again, this is back in the day. His first victim is this beautiful young lady. This one, right? Let me try if I can get this ready for you. The blonde young lady, top there. She comes right to his house. She's selling encyclopedias. Ron, do you know what encyclopedias are in the UK?
Listen, man, listen. I think encyclopedias were born here, along with the language and the knowledge that you have over there. Okay.
Okay, so like encyclopedias are old school, Ron. Like, yeah. I don't know if you're young, you probably know what it's like a book. It's Dude. Google in a book.
Dude. I own encyclopedias from back in the day. Like I can't throw them out. I've got like the Child Britannica ones and the full Britannica ones.
Old school, and you have encyclopedias in your house. You're
for decoration, for decoration, right? It's a quirky thing to show the kids. Look, children, knowledge in a book. Do you know what I mean? It's like a quirky thing from the past. It's like a wizardry to them. Do you know what I mean?
Linda Slauson, that's her name. Linda Slauson, 22 years old, is selling encyclopedias. Are you ready for this? This is really bad. She knocks on the shoe fetish slayer's door.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Nobody's home except for him. He invites her in and somehow gets her to the basement. Takes a 2x4, a piece of wood, bashes her over the head, chokes her to death, has sex with her corpse, which he loved to do, cuts off her foot, puts a shoe in it. So he has a foot, right? A real foot, puts a shoe in it, puts it in a shoe, and he puts it in the freezer to preserve it. And he will use this for masturbation for some time. That's his first victim. And he dumps her nude body in a river. Let's see. He dumped her over a bridge.
And that has to be a combination. That has to be a combination of somebody wanting to kill who also has an extreme foot fetish. It can't be like my foot fetish drove me to kill. It surely can't be that, right? I'm right in saying that, right?
Yeah, like he is so into that fetishism or whatever you want to call it. Yes. Now, there's 12 women who were reported missing and disappeared in his area during this time, and he was never charged with. And Ron, this is why I do these interviews, because I would be reaching out to him right now and saying, hey, listen, there's some missing people, missing women in your area. How about you talk about some of these unsolved cases? And that's what I'm doing with my podcast, Where the Bodies Are Buried. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to start doing on here. So then another woman, a student named Jan Whitney, is killed in, 1968. 1969, Karen Sprinkler is killed. And he attacks multiple women in the process. Sharon Wood gets away. He attempts to abduct a 14-year-old girl named Leanne Brumley. And then again, a fourth victim he kills, Linda Dawn Salee. So here's his victim count. So this is victim number 2. This is victim number 3. And then this is victim number 4, Salee. So these are his 4 victims that are confirmed. We think he may have killed 16 total. He never admitted to that. The second victim was killed, and he cut her breasts off, and he kept the breasts. He put paper towels where the breast cavity is and put an old bra from one of his collections, and he dumped her body. The last victim, Salih, was also asphyxiated, and her body was also found in the river. He would tie like a automobile transmission or automobile motor to their bodies and sink them in. This victim, let's see who this is. Let me just make sure I have this right. So this is.
Can you just quickly just put your hand in front of your camera just to refocus it a bit, Phil?
Yeah, this is Karen Sprinker. So you see this picture of Karen Sprinker? He took this picture. So he made her undress, put on the underwear that he had in his collection, and he took that picture, the last photo of Karen Sprinker, before he killed her. After he killed her, he hung her from a hook in the garage, and he left her there for some time, dead, hanging from a hook, and he would have sex with her dead body multiple times.
Wow. So, whoa, let me just take that in right. So he stripped her naked, dressed her in underwear, hung her on a hook, and then would have sex with her corpse.
Yes.
So we've definitely progressed from a foot fetish and cutting feet off.
And you'll see this. You'll see a progression. And you and I are going to do a video pretty soon with the serial killer who's going to confess to an unsolved murder where he did cut off her breasts and her vagina and everything. And we're going to get that. We're going to have that. It's going to be on my channel here in the next month. But you'll see a progression with serial killers. They usually don't stay in the same spot. Like, you know, they'll try this time, and then they try something even more extreme, and then they you know, so he cuts out the foot. He's like, that was pretty good. And maybe I'll cut the breasts off next, and you know, then I'll hang her, and then I'll have sex with her corpse. You know, that they kind of progress that way.
And
you know,
this was back in the era, and I only bring this up because of what you said in the Gacy video. Like, there was this era where women could just go locally missing. Like 10 women in a neighborhood could just go missing, and it just couldn't happen now. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's too much CCTV, there's too much building CCTV, just generally there's just cameras everywhere. Before we even get into, population density or anything like that. It is a creepy time period, you know, looking back from this time period, if that makes sense.
And you're right, Ron. With all the cameras today, people say, how did they get away with it back then? Just think, no cameras.
No cameras, no DNA.
No DNA. I mean, there's a lot of things that we're using today that they didn't have back then.
Yeah.
But still, there are killers killing 50 people today, driving semi trucks and across the country and getting away with it. Can I just
throw this out there as well? Like, social denial back then as well, where like the concept of this was just beyond, you know, anything anyone had thought about, you know, especially with Gacy. You know, I keep saying it because you ever see that episode of Friends where Joey gets the encyclopedia and just forces people to talk about the letter V? Well, that's why I keep cutting back to Gacy, because I've just had all this information in my brain. And it is a scary time period, I will be honest. And it sounds bad, but it kind of makes the best detective serial killer movies that time period. You know what I mean? Because nowadays we literally have a tracking device, an HD camera, and a microphone in our pockets at all times. So yeah, it's a crazy time period.
In Ron, we're dropping the John Wayne Gacy series this week.
Tomorrow.
You're going to part 1, part 2, part 3.
We've got Monday, Wednesday, Friday, starting tomorrow. You've got part 1 on Monday, part 2 Wednesday, part 3 Friday, all uploaded already, ready to go. Make sure you're subscribed.
Wait till you see the production, Ron did. It's great. And you know, that case, I told you, Ron, in the video, that case, how can you kill 33 young men in one neighborhood?
In one neighborhood?
They're on top of one another. Doesn't people see all these little boys at your house and they come and they don't leave? Like, you know, nosy neighbors.
Dude, put that in perspective. That would be like an entire classroom of children at your local school just vanishing. That's
2 classrooms.
No, this is Scotland, mate. 33
nosy neighbors in the UK?
33 in a class is nothing in Scotland, mate. None.
Do you have nosy neighbors in the UK?
Yeah. Yeah, but mainly in smaller towns, like nosy neighbors here, not so much. I mean, I've got fucking high hedges. I grow my hedges real high, and there's not really, people couldn't be nosy on me. But yeah, of course, nosy neighbors exist. You've always got that one on the street. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
I've got a horrible feeling it's Rachel on my street, which is so. Just throwing that out there.
So Mr. Brudos is, and this is another thing you'll see, Ron, with serial killers. They may kill one and then they take a 2-month break and they kill again. And then maybe they take a 1-month break, they kill again. Then they take a 2-week break and all of a sudden they're killing every single day. And that's what he did. He stepped up his attacks and then he finally got caught. And here's a crazy thing. He was only being questioned about an assault and he confessed to 4 murders in the police department. He confessed to 4 murders. He's charged with only 3 because they couldn't find the 4th body yet. They never did. And by the way, that's where the bodies are buried. That's what I do in the podcast. So he confessed to 3 murders. He got 3 life sentences and off he went to prison. His wife divorced him, would never let the kids visit him again. And he does not do well in prison. This is what he looks like in prison. He's been assaulted regularly, physically assaulted and beaten and sexually assaulted and sodomized. Okay. So inmates do not like people who kill young girls. And they did not take kindly to Jerry Brudos, but he did die in 2006. And he made it all the way to the age of 67. Anne Rule wrote a book on him called The Lust Killer. He was featured in the Netflix series Mindhunter. Make sure you don't miss that. And this is a really, for you obscure true crime fans, then there's a 1981 movie called Polyester. It's a U.S. movie about a disturbed teen named Ron Swanson. No, I made that up. Dexter Fishpaw, who uses pictures of shoes as pornography. So people ask me, what was his diagnosis? Here we go. Ready for this? Here's his diagnosis. Then I'm going to go to the chat and take questions. Borderline schizophrenic, antisocial personality, fetishism. He likes fetish, like shoes. Voyeurism, peeping Tom. Exhibition. Transvestitism.
Whoa, no, go back to that one. Go back to the last one. Try that. Try it again.
Say that. Exhibit. So he likes to like flash people.
There you go.
Transvestitism. He likes to dress as a woman. Ron, pay attention. Sadism. He likes to make people hurt and in pain. Oh, ready for this? He's also a necrophiliac. He liked to pose the bodies, and he took pictures of them. And as we know, he took feet and breasts as trophies. Now, BTK would just take driver's licenses. John Wayne Gacy would take your class ring. This guy took your feet and your breasts.
Damn.
Jeremy Brudos, Jerome Brudos, the shoe fetish slayer.
Yeah.
There he is. So let's take some questions. I'm sorry I haven't been paying attention to the chat.
That's right. I just want to say,
somebody already knows about the movie Polyester. Wow.
Just want to say quickly, I put up on the screen earlier where the bodies are buried. I put a link in the side chat. If you're looking for some lockdown entertainment for bedtime where you don't have to have a screen on, check this out. It's very well produced. And there's Delmas. Delmas is here. Do you know what I mean? Like, go get stuck into that because they talk to the serial killers like it's wild. Where the bodies are buried, link is in the description. So yeah, let's see what everyone is saying. And again, apologies everyone. Ron didn't realize that it was Super Bowl Sunday. Ron didn't realize next Sunday was Valentine's Day, and literally we couldn't plan for an all-out power cut. It was so funny because I'm sitting here stressing out trying to get Phil's live stream working while Phil's sitting there going, oh my god, and literally I get it working and I go, Phil, it's working, and he goes, is it working? I go, yes, and I slam my hands down on I wish that I was recording myself because I slammed my hands down on the table and the whole of Edinburgh's power went off. Like, just gone.
And some people said I'm blurry. We've had some snow here. The internet might not be good in North Carolina. I'm in North Carolina, so let's Somebody said they know. Hey, Ron, this is good. Somebody said they know a serial killer, or somebody's exhibiting signs of a serial killer.
Okay.
If that's really true, you should let someone know, like your local authorities, right?
Yeah.
Especially if it's a child. Explain how he almost got caught because of the crash in his shed. I don't know what that means. Oh, Amanda, how do you know that?
Oh, see?
Amanda, ICURN. Amanda, good call. Are you reading Google? Are you like really?
Yeah.
Ron, the woman he had hanging in his garage.
Yeah.
When he was gone, somebody had an accident and crashed into his garage or shed, or I don't know if it was a garage or shed. All the police had to do was go inside. They would have found a woman naked hanging there, and they didn't. Good call, Amanda. That was true. He almost got caught. That would have stopped the shoe fetish slayer.
That's crazy. Yeah, there's a lot. But the thing is, though, I mean, a lot of killers get caught because there's a body in the boot and their brake lights out. Do you know what I mean? Like, how many killers have been caught just because? Like,
because of a regular traffic stop or something.
Yeah, like if the furnace hadn't went. And again, we're going back to Gacy. If the furnace hadn't went on, right?
If the furnace didn't kick on.
Do you know what I'm saying? You'll find out more later.
Chris says, have I had any paranormal incidents while investigating? I have not yet, Chris, but that would be pretty rad.
Do you know, you should
get picked on in jail, except why it's happening. Do they play a sympathy card? I don't know. When you're getting physically and sexually attacked, I don't know what they do.
I think you should buy the Gacy house and then just rent it out for paranormal investigators.
Hey, listen, I thought about it. If it wasn't so cold in Chicago, I would have thought about buying that house.
Buy it and rent it out. Turn it.
Jackson, you ever seen the Joseph Duncan torture video? Man, I know that case very well. Shasta Groney is alive, and she does interviews, and that's sad. The little brother's dead. I've not seen that video. Wow.
I would love to see
6 inches in East Tennessee, Phil. Well, I hope you're talking about snow.
I would like to see you do a deep dive profile into the Toolbox Killer.
Oh,
we
will do that.
The serial killer that was never convicted of being a serial killer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, Danielle, thank you for following me on Instagram. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, the podcasts are we start recording the podcast next week. We're going to start with. Want a little bit of an insight where the first person we're going to talk to in the first episode is going to be the Zodiac copycat, Seda from New York. And we're going to talk about the original Zodiac, and we're going to talk about Seda, who was a Zodiac copycat. Let's see. Good stuff. Somebody's from Scotland.
Yeah, we've got a few from the motherland here. I have to say
that's how I know about the failed mold of the cut breast. So Amanda's got another point. He would take those breasts that he removed for that one victim, and he would make a mold, and he would make like a paperweight out of them. Now imagine that when they search his house, they find all this stuff: underwear, bras, panties, breasts. He had all this stuff in his house, photos of everything. I mean, he was easy. He got caught pretty quick. Have you ever? It's funny. Nay, folks asking again. Have I ever collected a mannequin? I have some pretty cool stuff in my collection that I'll be showing you guys on this channel that are from crime scenes or from killers. Like I have a piece of Ted Bundy's kill kit when he was arrested. So we're going to share some of that with you guys on this channel. So
nice.
Stay tuned for that. Somebody said it's not the motherland, it's the fatherland.
I'm just lining up a segue here into doing a bit of promotion here, and I just realized you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel. Do you want to explain yourself, Phil?
Yeah, I will.
I'm doing it right now. I'm logged in as you. I've already done it for you. And all notifications. Yes, absolutely, no problemo.
I'm going to change the subject and say, somebody wants to know about the Toy Box Killer.
Yeah. Oh no, I do. I really do. I covered him.
Subscribe to my channel, Ron.
Yeah. Hell yeah. All my channels are subscribed to your channel. I'm only busting your chops. So the
Toy Box Killer is insane. We should. What we should do? Put in the comments who you want me to talk about on this channel. But the Toy Box Killer. We gotta talk. Let me tell you something about the Toy Box Killer.
Okay.
His girlfriend texts me.
Yeah, that's the reason why.
Did like 20 years, and what the hell's her name? Hold on, let me look her up. Let me tell you.
The reason I'm asking you this, Phil, is in the Hurtcore documentary I did, he was one of the killers that I covered.
His girlfriend Cynthia Handy texts me, and she wants to do an episode, so we may talk to her, and you're going to get a real insight into the toy box killer, David Parker Ray, because like she was like in bed with him and stuff. Go ahead, Brian. What were you saying?
Well, yeah, the reason that I'm interested is when I was doing the investigation for the Hurtcore documentary that I did, which, you know, if you want to ruin your week, I suggest you watch. If not, just don't watch it. But there was a section in there about the sort of dawn of recording torture. And one of the killers was the toy box killer and the toolbox killers as well, the guys that drove around in the van.
They're both bad, toy box and toolbox.
Yeah, real bad. But it was all about those who like to record and document torture. Because in the toy box killer, that's the one whose girlfriend called you, right? I'm going to now get them confused because I've said them.
Yeah, the toy box killer, David Parker, right? New Mexico. Yeah.
So we know that he drugged and released women as well as killed women, right?
He did.
Yeah. True. So that's wild. That's wild. So we're talking about somebody who might accidentally have killed or killed because their friends were there like to kill or whatever. But the fact that people survived was fascinating because that was a side of the torture without death side, which is very important in the Hurtcore genre. And we looked at that.
Somebody said the son of Sam. I do talk to him, Danielle, a lot, and we definitely will have Berkowitz on this channel. Wesley Allen Dodd, it's a fascinating case. He killed kids. What the hell is he's the something child killer, maybe Spokane or I can't remember what city he's from, but yeah, he's a very monster. Has anybody chilled me to the bone? Man, anybody that has sex with corpses and tortures people and kidnaps and keeps their bodies. I mean, all that stuff, nothing really bothers me, but it does gets me to go, whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Somebody said Eileen Wuornos. We probably should talk about her. Somebody said the van's still at the Albuquerque parking lot, FBI. That's pretty cool. Robert Lee Yates. He doesn't talk to a whole lot of people, but we're going to try to get him on the phone. The Icebox Killer. Isn't that like Dexter?
Nah, I think there was definitely a series. There was definitely a movie, I think.
Ever been threatened by a serial killer? Yeah, a couple have been threatened to kill me and my family. So
from jail.
Somebody said Arthur Shawcross, the Genesee River killer. My claim to fame with him is he dissed me in a book called The Serial Killer Whisperer. He dissed me. I'm going to frame that. Thank you, Arthur Shawcross.
Listen, man, people threaten to kill me all the time. Like, it's just part of the day job. Do you know what I mean? Plus, at least
Ron, real quick.
Yeah.
I'm going to run and get another drink. Talk about to my people. Talk about what you do on your channel. Give me your channel real quick. Do that real quick.
Yeah, no problems. All right. So when Ron, there we go. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Ron. I started out on YouTube just wanting to make camping videos, and then one day found out about this thing called the dark web, and there was apparently men who were hacking teenage girls and boys' webcams to then blackmail into making porn, or they would release all of this information. And I think at the time my daughter, my eldest daughter, was about 14, and I was like, nah, come on. This can't be real. So went and investigated for myself and found that it was entirely real. There was huge blackmail communities, and from there went down a road of being completely blown away that during, and I just want to make this clear, every time I search the deep web, I have images off and videos off in a custom browser, so that if I go to a community or a website, none of the images show. Even if it's the most horrific shit you can imagine, I don't see it because I'm not there trying to investigate content. I'm looking for conversations on forums. And when you investigate these forums, some of them have got 1.6 million members, and they're all there because they like to abuse children. When you manage to take down a site like that, or infiltrate a community, or have very clever members of certain groups that like to remain anonymous, who can data mine these sites and hand that information to the police, it's incredible. This year, I took a very small part in helping get 2 individuals arrested out in the Ukraine who had a child modeling agency called Brima Models. Brima models, and there was like 65 kids being trafficked and abused for child porn under the guise of a child modeling agency, and their two owners are now in jail. And I played a small part in the fact that I took all of the stuff that the clever people did and I put it out there, but there's a good chance that none of this would have been investigated if I hadn't made my initial video 2 years ago. So that's how awareness kind of works. You don't really know what's going to be picked up in the future. For example, when we covered the /TV/images 4chan scandal, like 6 months later, the live stream got 125,000 views for no reason. Do you know what I mean? And it's like that. So that's basically what I do. I make documentaries as well, and sometimes we just hang out and have a good old laugh.
So for all my people, and Ron, I have a lot of police officers and different types of fans on my pages.
Yeah.
Ron is this. Ron's. We're having a little bit of fun tonight, but what we both do is pretty serious. Yeah. And I would say to everybody watching tonight, if you get to know me personally, this is very serious to me. We are out here trying to stop killers. We are trying to get them arrested before they abuse and kill more children, or molest children, rape children, whatever. We're all in this together, and we have big. This is a big deal, man. It's not just let's just do a little YouTube channel and talk about serial killers. A lot of people do that. And by the way, we don't just talk about serial killers; we talk to them, and we'll be doing that very shortly. So, by the way, this live stream is brought to you by Mick Ultra. Mick Ultra only has 99 calories. You should try this.
I hope you're getting paid for that. Like, if that, I'm not being funny, because if they're like, why are you promoting us? We want to sue you now. Like, I'm sorry, whoever is the marketing director for that beer, please contact Phil's wife directly. Just jeez, you can't just say that, Phil. Okay, if they are, that's great. But if they're not, we just can't be like, random beer thing. Nah, okay, nah. I'm sorry.
Show the Americans what you're drinking in the UK.
Oh man, this is like cider that's had toffee apples launched in it by Brothers Brewers. Cider. Yeah, whoa. So cider's made with apples. Like, you got to understand, to me, anything less than like 6 or 7% isn't really alcoholic. Like in America, beers are like 3%. Some of the ciders I drink are 9.8%. Do you know what I mean? Yes. Do you know what I'm saying?
Hey, Ron, there's some people in the chat saying they love you, man. So
yeah, I love you guys too. Don't ever think I do. Oh, the Tic Tacs, man. Don't get me started on the Tic Tacs. Okay, the Tic Tacs is out of control.
So Ron, let's just, as we end this, Ron, tell them what to expect this week and what to expect on a weekly basis from this channel.
I can do better than tell them, because I'm going to play them an advert, and then I'm going to play them a sneak little snippety snip of tomorrow's content. Just a wee... Just a wee snippler. So this week on Friday, we have our first episode in a new series on the Sean Atwood channel with Phil himself. I'm so
Sean Atwood has 650,000 followers, people.
Yeah. He's a heavyweight. He's no joke. Phil covers serial killers, and we know what Phil covers. You know what I cover. Atwood is right into the non-conspiracy side of the Epstein, the elites and the politicians who abuse, exploit kids, the multi-million-dollar businesses that give. One guy gave Epstein $148 million.
Wow.
See if you're worth 500 million, Phil, and I've given you 148 million.
Wow.
Fucking red flags, right? Do you know what I'm saying? So the people that he talks to and the knowledge they have, none of it is conspiracy. It's all hardcore investigating, victims, genuine survival. Amazing. Just go and check his channel. He's wild. So this is going to be...
Let's see it, man.
I am. I've got to remember to pause the music. There we go. So this is a trailer. I hope you guys enjoy, and once we watch this, we'll be coming back. So don't go anywhere. Don't do a thing.
Let's see it.
I believe
We are raising and creating a generation of killers. And the breakdown of family and the constant barrage of violence. So these kids are growing up and they're the most violent generation we've ever seen. 5 teenagers kill every day. 12 young people kill themselves every day. I call this generation Generation Death. Why? So we can stop murder, crimes. And in the end,
His case is strange to say the least. Answers to some of those questions, shedding more light on why he committed those crimes.
A lot of from the papers that I did look at, didn't say anything weird about him except people thinking he was sketchy when he was a sex scout, the choking thing. But I found interesting they interviewed one of his ex-girlfriends. And she said he was the most gentle, caring man she ever met.
I thought the day that I finally was able to say that Nathan Lawson is arrested, that I would be genuinely happy. But I am anything but happy. I am disturbed, I am angry, and I am so...
Hello, Sean Atwood here on the True Crime Channel, and we've got the Queen's cousin.
He mentions nothing in his video, okay? All right. Yeah, spicy.
So I want to say to all the people here that are in the U.S. and following me, as you can tell, we are taking this thing worldwide. This is no longer just an American thing, a U.S. thing. We're going to collaborate with people in the UK and around the world, and we're going to take this thing global. So that's what we're doing.
Hell yeah.
I'm glad you guys are on board. It's Super Bowl Sunday in the United States, which is a holiday pretty much.
Yeah.
And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady, who's kind of old, is going to win this thing today.
I wish I could say I cared about the Super Bowl, but I don't. Well, listen, I tell you what, since you've all been such good sports, I'm going to give you 2 minutes of tomorrow's content because I think
that's what you just shared. That was the Sean Atwood thing.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Don't worry. We're coming back to now.
Come on.
Let's go. First couple of minutes. Here we go.
Killer Clown. What's up, everybody? We are doing a series on John Wayne Gacy, the killer clown. John Wayne Gacy has been given a lot of attention since his crime spree. You can buy toys, you can buy miniatures, you can buy snow globes, you name it, it's available. John Wayne Gacy, like a lot of the serial killers that were major serial killers and kind of famous, Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, many people like him. A lot of these guys are romanticized in the media and they just look like a clown, right? Up here is Pogo the Clown, and you see Gacy behind me. But when you really dig deep into their crimes, they're not really that friendly, or they should not be romanticized. And John Wayne Gacy is one of those guys. He's a monster that appears as a clown. We're going to be joining in a little bit with a friend of mine. His Instagram is Visits with Gacy, and his name is James, and I think you're going to like him. He's going to share a lot of insight into John Wayne Gacy. He spent he met with John Wayne Gacy 11 times, and he's going to share a lot of insight into Gacy that maybe you don't know about. But this is kind of how Gacy is portrayed in the media. These are a couple magazine covers of John Wayne Gacy. Either he's the scary clown or a harmless clown. This is Pogo the Clown. And these are drawn by Chuck Hody. Some nice drawings of John Wayne Gacy.
There's no more for you people. That's it. You don't get any more. There's no more. That's it. You've had your lot. You have to subscribe. Make sure you are here tomorrow, because you don't want to miss the start of this series. It is so informative, and Phil just rattles out the information, and it just flows so well. So it's a 3-part series. It's about 50 minutes in total. Starting Monday, you get episode 1. Wednesday, episode 2. Friday, episode 3. Of course, we're live with Atwood Friday, and you'll get some clips Wednesday, Thursday. And we'll be rolling out the Daisy and Delmas show, or the Delmas and Daisy show. And there's lots more to come. It's been a very interesting 10 days getting everything ready.
And we're back here next Sunday, Ron, with the same time. We're talking about David Allen Gore, and Fred Waterfield, the Killing Cousins, which is
absolutely,
it's your two creepers in a predator van picking up little girls. So,
and what could make Valentine's Day even more special? Okay, and I promise we won't have to wait. We won't lose 45 minutes of stream due to what I can only imagine was like the Russians invading and setting off a freaking EMP or something. It was nuts. But we're back, and big thank you to everyone. Let me just see where we're at. We're at 88 likes. Let's see if we can roll the stream out with 100 likes. Can we do it? Can we do it, please? Let's see if we can get 100 likes. Also, make sure you're subscribed to Phil's channel. If the little subscribe button is red, you're not subscribed. What are you doing? Click subscribe. Make sure you click the bell and select all notifications. And just be here next week. Make sure you subscribe to my channel if you're new. Don't dive into the hardcore. I know you heard me talking about that earlier. Don't just dive in there. It will really not. You just don't. I've got 2 new documentaries. One is aiming to come out this Friday, and the next is rolling out at the start of March. So, yeah. Love you guys. Thank you. Yeah, you need to send me that back. I told you I want that back, right?
Fetish Slayer, don't forget him.
Yeah, but I want that back. I told you I want that.
Next Sunday, Ron Atwood's going to come out wearing these.
Yeah, no. Listen, you know that my OnlyFans was meant to be private, okay? And you're not meant to tell people about that, Phil, okay? Jesus.
Thank you so much, everybody, man. Thanks for being here today. Yeah. Super Bowl Sunday, UK. You guys are great. And hope you all enjoy it, man.
Okay, now, sorry you all have to hear this, but I forgot to tell Phil. So when we do the outro, you just stay there, okay, until I end the stream, and then I come back and tell you. Just stay there. Thank you, everybody. Make sure you like and subscribe, share. You're all amazing. Big shout out to the mods team, Aiko and Heath, Shane, Casey, Blazy Poos, all, I'm sure, did a fantastic job this evening. Love you all, and see you all in the next one. Peace. Let's see if we remember where the buttons are. There we go.